Tim, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you jumping on here to talk about the state of the industry with regard to perimeter intrusion detection. And given the changing security that we see in the world today, different threats, greater threats, I was just curious how you're seeing it as an industry manufacturer, a manufacturer of products that help people protect their perimeter. How are you seeing people looking at perimeter detection differently than they used to, perhaps?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Matt.
Sure.
In my world, because I work with the manufacturer, we are Southwest Microwave when we do manufacture the perimeter intrusion detection devices. Um, my view of how the industry is working with our products is somewhat limited. However, in the industry that we sell to, which includes all sorts of vertical markets like transportation, electric utility, water, wastewater, VIP residents, and many others, we are seeing the assets pushed further to the outer part of the perimeter. So whereas early on in my career doing this of more than 15 years, people were either protecting the entire perimeter at the very highest levels of security,
Right.
or at lower levels of security, they were protecting just the asset themselves. So now people are tending to push the perimeter further out, providing an earlier line of detection, provide more time for the response team to assess and respond.
So does that involve the same equipment or different equipment, or how are they? Okay, so they do this reassessment, and they determine, you know what, we really need to move our perimeter from 50 feet from our building to where cars enter the property. Are they having to change the equipment that they're using, or are they literally just moving it out, or how does that work for somebody?
In general, it's a combination of both. People have in the past used smaller or shorter range motion sensors combined with some CCTV and access control to provide that security boundary. And now we're looking at outer perimeters, which include fences and clear spaces, open areas around the outer part of the perimeter. So fence detection sensors, buried cable sensors that pinpoint location and can drive cameras to a specific area around the perimeter. We're seeing more and more requests for information on those things. More and more applications where they're taking a long range sensor and creating a line or a boundary at the outer part of their perimeter. So, yes, some are taking that sensor that was near the building or near the asset and moving it to a different location. But we are finding that most others are increasing their security by adding a layer of that detection, adding an early warning sensor further out.
So, as part of that process, a security professional, a security director, or someone like that, a specifier, a consultant, is going to need to do a site survey and kind of overlay their site survey with the change in the environment, or the use of the facility or whatever. What We have some resources that I know of. You guys, your team, three of you guys came out and did recently an update for us and for our partners about very basic things having to do with perimeter and some complicated things, a bit of a technology and strategy update.
Sure.
Can you talk about like what were the things in that series of presentations that we've captured on video that you think would be helpful to somebody who's having to reevaluate their situation today?
Absolutely. First thing, you need to perform a threat analysis. Once you've got the threat analysis, then you know what your threat definition is. For example, if you're looking to protect against an intelligent intruder looking to steal an asset, that's a very different threat definition than a couple kids with some spray paints trying to protect a railroad car from getting spray painted or the side of a building from getting spray painted. So first off, we look at the design considerations based on that threat analysis. Second to that, we look at the total cost of ownership, and we start comparing the different types of sensors for the specific application based on that threat definition and total cost of ownership looking forward. So some of the system considerations would include the type of sensor, the type of perimeter boundary, For example, if you had a chain link fence, or if you had a chain link fence with razor coil on top, or potentially no fence with maybe a block wall. If you had flat ground versus undulating terrain or hills, all of those things make a big difference in the type of technology that we may recommend or that may fit with your threat definition.
So without you being at the site, which you're willing to do, right? If there's nuclear power plant, any power generation facility, an airport, things with these critical perimeters, you guys or the mid-chest team are more than happy to come out and evaluate how we might be able to help them with these technologies. But in our absence or before we come out, we've accumulated all these videos to help them refresh on why they have a perimeter detection system to begin with and all the different strategies, right?
Yeah, we want to help empower the user, not only the end user, but also the integrators or installers, the consultants and A&Es, as well as you and your team to be the expert on our systems. Essentially, you should be able to review some of the videos that we've captured in the past and be able to understand what some of the key points to total cost of ownership of these types of systems would be. What some of the design considerations you should look for before going out to the site, as well as if you review the video on integration, it may help you better understand how these parts and pieces can fit together with the access control systems, with the CCTV systems, with your guard force, or even your response team. There should be a discussion on the site survey and your resources on the Mid-Chest website, as well as our resources from our site estimating sheet and site survey documentation, should provide a pretty comprehensive overview of how to constructively look at a perimeter or a site as a whole and come up with a holistic approach to the perimeter security.
All right, so on the right side of the screen here, let me pull it back up again. I've pulled up a snapshot of our portal, and when somebody scrolls through this, it's broken up into those sections like you described: total cost of ownership, basics of perimeter intrusion detection, integration. All those topics are in this portal, and with the link that's in our broadcast here, somebody can click on that, get to the portal through the links, and do their own education ahead of time before perhaps engage, do some self-studying, some self-review before deciding that, taking action or calling us in to assist them is what they need.
Yeah, and that's, to answer your question now that you mention it, the first question you asked was what's changing on the physical security at these sites.
Right.
And probably the biggest change that we've seen is that the consumers want to be the expert. That's probably the better way to answer the question is, the installers, the integrators, and the users themselves, they want to do the research ahead of time. They want to learn about these systems and become an industry expert, a product expert, and then reach out to the support teams. And that way they can speak on a more intelligent level. And these videos should certainly help with that.
Well, I think I would take you beyond a should, and I say will, only because we participated as attendees when we filmed these videos, and I can tell you that guys are on our team for 20 years worth of experience all walked away with a fresh look at things, because although some of the technologies haven't changed, some new technologies have been added, and that changes the overall strategy. And unless you really take a step back, review the basics, and then apply them to your new environment, that's really where you see a huge advantage. And then again, once you have that homegrown knowledge that you've improved upon, then you can go to the next level and seek a site survey or something like that. So it's great resource. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and then just to add in there, that's another part of the total cost of ownership. If we can help these guys save their survey costs, their system design costs up front, then it'll help them better spend that money later.
And I guess time is money as well. When I look at my calendar, or even worse, folks that are on the road like yourself and our team, their calendars are full, and so are our partners' calendars. And anything that we can do to help them be more efficient is good. And I think these resources do just that by helping them, they can do some studying in between their meetings, or
sure.
you know, whatever time period they have to do it, and really maximize their day or their week. So I appreciate that you guys helped us put those videos together. I should say it the other way around. We enjoyed putting those, recording the videos and gathering that information from you. So again, the link is in the Facebook text right here. You can just click on it and get to all these resources that Tim was talking about. Again, there's about 10 or 12 videos that are anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. So you don't have to watch a 4-hour seminar. We took all the good parts out so that so it's time effective for you. So thanks again, Tim. I appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Sure thing, Matt. Have a good one.